Are we live? How's the audio balance, guys? Is the audio any good? Is the music too loud? Am I too loud? Judging by the signs, I think it might be better if I do this. Do tell me if it needs, like, adjusting. The music shouldn't be distracting, but it should be, like, you know, letting the flow, so that when I just have a silence for a moment, you can enjoy it. Alright. I need to change my socks. I'm just gonna go barefoot for this stream. Guys, my feet are bare. Guys, 30 likes and I'll show off my foot on stream. I'll show it off. Oh, there's a peek. That was a peek of my peek of my toes, guys. Missed about the foot reveal. You know, I've been thinking about milestones a little bit. So, first of all, there was supposed to be a friend with me on this stream, not you. I could have had him display on the stream earlier and I forgot to. That's a shame. I had you here somewhere. No, not you. Guys, I was gonna be collabing with Silly Jellyfish. But she's not showing up. I thought she'd be here. She's in the thumbnail. I forgot to switch out her icon. That's dumb. But yeah, no, here she is. Oh my god, why is her... Well, alright then. Okay, so... Her icon's massive for some reason, and it's also sideways, which is hilarious. But yeah, no, I was going to be collaborating with Silly Jellyfish from the D&D group, Orculus Chronicles. If you guys know that, Ronan's hosting that on a YouTube channel, which is separate to this. I forgot to link it in the description as well. This is going really well. I'm just big brain, guys. But, she hasn't turned up yet. She seems to be offline. She might have forgotten or be held up with something, but might turn up partway through the stream, and that's fine. And if not, oh well. I'll just forget you were ever here. But yeah, not quite sure what's happening with her, unfortunately. I also had Sealed Killer enter the voice chat. Okay, let me just show you guys something. So if I go to the Discord server, here I am on Discord. Sealed Killer got into voice chat. He got inside the rec room, and this is where we do our live streams. I put people in the rec room. However, the permissions of the rec room are made so no one can enter except for me. For other people to enter, they have to go to the waiting room, and then from there I can drag them into the rec room. This stops people randomly jumping on the stream, trolling things, messing things up. It's very unlikely to happen anyways, because since the olden days, I've heavily boosted server security. This thing has got like the second highest server security level. The only thing that's not there is two-step verification, because everyone hates that for some reason. Although I do get it, my phone's broken right now, so I can't have 2FA, which is really annoying. but the, not 2FA, 2VFA, whatever. But yeah, and now he got in here, and I don't know how that happened, but I think I forgot, I messed up the permissions, because it was made so creators could just jump in here, and they weren't supposed to, so I've changed that back. And, Jelly hasn't turned up, so I'm just going to stay in here deafened for now. But if you guys ever want to be in a Debate Direct episode, I want to make this absolutely clear. If you want to be in a stream with me, whether that's Debate Direct or anything else, you've got to organise in advance. You've got to communicate with me, contact me via Discord or Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, any of the social media pages. Talk to me in DMs, get something going. For Debate Direct, there's a specific procedure because I do so many collabs, so this is more so than video games. And I will post in Mr. Matt YouTube every now and then about an opportunity regarding it. I'll say, another Debate Direct collab opportunity, I'll ping you at 5 PM GMT, like at this time on this day, I'm streaming this stream, right? And then I'll have copy-paste the description, including some links, and this one has a lot of links, which I'll get into. And then I have this, and this is crucial, guys. If you'd like to be in this episode, react with hand, okay? And this is why I sometimes change the thumbnail a few hours before it goes live. I'll make a quick one, and then I'll refine that, because I don't want to go to the effort of like refining it and then having to change it back and everything when I need to add people into the thumbnail, because I want to add people in the thumbnail, I want to link them in the description, I want to have a real tight collaboration happening. And, you know, I have, like, the voice chat rules, which are very simple, and, you know, there's no specific system for this, but if you wanted to be in Debate Direct or any other particular stream, and you couldn't react to this for whatever reason, you can always just message me, and it doesn't have to be on Discord, it can be on Instagram, Reddit, etc., okay? So I want to make you all aware of that, because that's the system, that's me keeping things organised and stopping any old buddy waltzing in and just doing their thing, because I don't want to collab with people unless, you know, I like them and I trust them. I don't want any old nobodies just coming in here, alright? And that's no offense to Seal Killer, for example. I trust Seal Killer, I really like Seal Killer, I admire him, respect him, but he didn't plan to be here, so, no. Also, the lighting's really bad today. Why isn't my lamp working? Hold up, lads. Let me get this thing going. But yeah, is the audio good? Let me check chat. I'm pretty chill, thanks. I'd be in, but I have stuff to do. That's completely valid, dude. Again, guys, if you can message me in chat and interact just as much as if you're in voice chat. Some people don't even have a mic, so they have to go with chat anyway. But yeah, thank you, Seal. I'll see you later, maybe. The glitch trap mouse cuss. The music is louder than you. Alright, I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. Alright, if that's good. No one complained, seriously, after I changed it, but yeah. Also, Angie and Trom, hello, Livy, thank you for joining. So, you were here earlier asking about the stream next Friday. When I'm done with Pizza Sim, I'm gonna start playing Cuphead at last, guys, I promise. And, you also asked, do you take pictures of yourself for thumbnails? Well, yeah, duh, obviously, I use OBS. Like, I go into this setup you're seeing right now. I actually go into this one, and then I use the snip tool, and I just take a selfie, and then I, like, edit it and stuff. But the thing is, you're asking me a couple questions, and I had to explain this and that, and that gave me an idea. Before we get onto today's topic, guys, we are on Debate Direct episode 40. We're on Debate Direct episode 40, and I didn't think about this back in the day, but this series has gone on much, much longer than I could have imagined. I don't know why, it's always the ones you least expect, but I didn't think about this, and this series is going to be the longest running thing on Mr. Matt. It's going to evolve and change. If you look at the old ones, they're quite different to the ones now, and I'm sure that'll continue to be the case for years to come. As long as I'm here, live streaming, there's going to be Debate Direct, no question about it. It's a crucial part of my channel. It's the bit that separates this out from just being a gaming channel. And we're on 40 episodes now, and I'm just looking back and I'm thinking, I want to do something special for episode 50, maybe episode 100 when we get there. So maybe I could do a Q&A. I did a FNAF Q&A for episode 2. Maybe I could do an Ask Me Anything for episode 50. And maybe that could also be the 500 subscriber special, or I could do something separate for that. And that could just be an episode where any one of you sends in your questions via YouTube comments, you know, social media messages, anything you want, live chat, and I just answer questions for an hour or two, you know? And I think that'd be really nice and interesting and chilled. And maybe, like, I could play Minecraft while I'm doing it just to keep things interesting, you know, if you guys really wanted, like. And you could get my opinions on absolutely anything. You could ask me about anything, like, even, like, personal life stuff. Obviously, I'm not gonna dox myself or anything like that, but, you know, If you want to know about, I don't know, school experiences I've had, or, you know, other hobbies I've got, or, you know, what careers I want to be doing in the future, or, you know, because I'm kind of struggling with that, but, you know, maybe I could do this as a career, at least a side hustle. I think it'd be really cool. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's get straight into them. Just make sure chat's updated. Yeah, so today we're talking about something kind of dark, and I guess the music is kind of fitting for that. Let me just go into chat screen because I've had some private messages. I want to check them. Just real quick. That's just me saying bye. I got to go stream. Okay, thank you for your icon, Trom. Thank you. Very smart, ahead of time. Sending me your profile picture in case you're ever in a stream. I'll save that right now. I'm doing it right now. Thank you very much. So, that's cool. I don't believe you've ever been in voice chat as well, so it'd be really interesting to hear your voice and stuff, and get to know you. I don't even know your real name, or which country are you from again? You don't have to tell me, but I can't access notes. I don't even remember anything about you. I mean, I remember plenty about you, but I don't remember what time zone you're in and how old you are and stuff. But yeah, I just closed Discord. I did not mean to do that. I'm in a call, technically, sort of, from a certain point of view. But yeah, I don't know if Jelly's gonna show up, and I've stalled long enough, so let's get straight into this, okay? So, if we go to the game screen, and I'll just start by reading out today's description, I guess. It's probably a good place to start. So, prisons and the death penalty. The death penalty is the ultimate punishment for the ultimate crime. It was abolished in the UK half a century ago, but should we bring it back? And if so, how? Could the death penalty provide a solution to the issues with prisons in the UK? Are the worst offenders truly irredeemable? Join me and my collaborators as we discuss the most controversial topic on Debate Direct yet. I'm just going to put Jelly's name here in case she does show up. My collaborator single, because I thought loads of people would join us, to be honest. I thought social debates were popular, but no one was that interested. So in the links in the description, there's a whole bunch of links in the description, guys. So if you want, you can go access these, you can check them out. We're going to start off with what kick-started all of this, okay? Something very simple. I found a Reddit post. It was the alignment chart subreddit. I have to thank Ronan for discovering this, which is interesting because he's the one who also introduced me to Jelly. I just got a notification that's a FNAF Theory subreddit, I'm pretty sure. Sorry guys, business, you know. That's interesting. I'll come back to that in a while. So, death penalty. Okay. So, there were 9 stances here that tried to roughly, you know, capture the essence of, you know, the lawful, chaotic, good, evil, like, different kind of, like, you know, personality, like, alignment, point of view, kind of thing. Because that's what this is really good at. It's really good at representing points of view. So, I'm going to read them all out, and I'm going to explain my opinions on each of the points of view, what I agree with, what I disagree with, and you can get involved in this, and we're just going to keep branching out, because all those articles down there are going to inform us even further. So, the lawful good say, yes, it is justice for the victims because it affirms the value of human life. Now, I think this argument is severely flawed. Killing someone... The death penalty is death is the opposite of life. I mean, I guess it's like a two-sided coin, but, you know, because death does affirm the value of human life. Death is inevitable. Death is what gives life meaning. The fact that there is a limited time that we have on this earth, a limited time to be ourselves and to do something and just to live happy lives and just to have happy existences, you know. There's no specific goal of life. It's whatever you want to do with it. It's a sandbox game, guys. The universe is a sandbox game, so you can do whatever you want. I think ultimately the goal could still be like happiness. But you know, the thing is, killing the worst of the worst doesn't really affirm the value of human life to me, because that's control, that's man-made. We're gonna kill these people because they did some awful things. That doesn't really affirm the value of human life. I don't really know how it does. That's not like, we're all gonna die one day, so make the most of what we can. That's deliberately cutting life short. It's kind of completely opposite. So lawful good is just, doesn't make any sense to me. Don't agree with it. Neutral good. I'm actually gonna turn the music down. It's slightly distracting me. And to turn down for me, I think for you guys the volume will remain the same, so do say if it's still too loud. I will be checking chat, because again I don't have my phone. No one said anything in chat. Okay. But let's have a look at each other's stance. Neutral good. No, we should not support the death penalty because the system is not perfect. I do not want to kill someone wrongly convicted. Even the most vile people deserve to live in change. Now this is really interesting, and I'm kind of in two minds on this one. I agree that there is always a risk that someone innocent could be wrongly convicted, and death is irreversible. It's extreme. If you wrongly give someone the death sentence, You've killed an innocent person, and there's nothing you can do about it after the deed is done. I would contest, though, that it's pretty difficult to do that, assuming you have a good judicial system, because, like, unless the state has a really strong political agenda and you're living under some kind of totalitarian regime, I don't see how someone truly innocent could be wrongly convicted with the death penalty of all things, because the death penalty is a rare extreme measure. It's only supposed to be used on people who've done really bad offenses and are really, like, obviously of no value to society. So I guess that might be just idealistic, because maybe in reality the usage of the death penalty is much more flawed. I'm not counting states like, I don't know, China, those Middle East places like Syria, Iran. I'm not counting them, or the USA. No, I am thinking USA, because the USA, despite everything, it is still not a fascist regime. It is still almost democratic. It's still, it's not a state that kills people who oppose the political norm. It doesn't just, kill its enemies because they disagree with the state. It's not one of them. It's not a Maoist China. It's not a Stalinist Russia. In a state like the USA, I wouldn't say that the death penalty's been misused. Trump has created a record for the number of executions under his time. He's executed 13 people, and I was reading about this in Private Eye, but I will say, I think they all deserve to die. You could argue, but these are people who have been in solitary confinement since the 1970s. People who are mentally insane, psychopathic serial killers, the worst of the worst. Maybe they don't deserve to die, because there are arguments against that, which we'll get into, but if you had to give the death penalty to someone, they would definitely be first on death row, okay? That's not even just my opinion, that's kind of like, that generally makes sense. But even the most vile people deserve to live and change. Do they? Can they? I wouldn't say so. I don't think so, but maybe? I think I'd need to talk to psychologists to judge this one, because I am not an expert in human nature. I know many things about humans. Obviously, humans are greedy, they're individualistic, people compete, and, they're lazy, but real talk, do the most vile people deserve to live and change? And is that even possible? How... Are all people redeemable, I'm not sure they are. I think that's a bit naive, but maybe it's true. Maybe there's some truth in it. I'm not sure. Chaotic Good says, no. Criminals are misguided people who are neglected by society. The system should put emphasis on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Now this I like. This is right up my street. Now, the worst of the worst, I might say, are irredeemable, but criminals in general, that shouldn't really have the death penalty anyway, but let's assume criminals in general, regardless of the death penalty, I definitely agree are often misguided, neglected by society, who have, grown up in poverty, who have not been educated properly, and could have their problems fixed by, proper, supplementation of education and finance, I guess. Some kind of welfare system. If I had to get into details, it would probably vary from country to country, but you get the idea. The system should put emphasis on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Now, I think that probably depends on the crime, and it depends on if the person's committed this crime or other crimes and over again, like a school bully that won't learn from detention, or if it's like, someone who has done, like... I think it depends on the amount and severity of the crime, but I would definitely put emphasis on rehabilitation. For the masses and masses of, lowbrow, pickpockets and thieves and, maybe even someone who did something quite serious but only did it like once, like an arson or a murder, I would still try and put emphasis on rehabilitation. I would really struggle to emphasize rehabilitation over punishment for rapists, though, and serial killers, and people who, do things to children, any of that, there's, small-time petty crime, oh, I stole your thing, because I'm selfish, and then there's, being a fucking maniac, I think there's a lot of distinctions to be made here, and it's very complicated, and, writing the law is easier said than done. I'm no lawyer, I have no training or experience or much knowledge of the law, I've never even studied it at A-level, but, this is why it's a really complicated thing, because you have to The law has to factor in for every single different possible thing that could ever happen in the world of crime. And, you know, make, like, you know, what's the appropriate punishment for that? What's the appropriate rehabilitation? And so on and so forth. So, it's complicated, but on a broader sense, chaotic good, I agree with. I think I might be chaotic good. But there are several other viewpoints which are quite different that I agree with, which I would like to talk about. RGN Trom, you might join a stream this weekend. Well, I'm doing Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Sim. I don't really want anyone to join me for that, but you can be in chat, of course. You're in the... Oh, you're in EST as well, so you're 5 hours behind. Okay, thank you, Trom. Thank you. Streams this weekend. This is just off topic, but briefly, because he's asking. Cuphead? No, Cuphead's next week. So, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Sim, then probably Cuphead. That might change the papers, please. I'm not sure. There should finally be Minecraft. I'll finally get back to Minecraft. I'm doing Baldi's Basics speedrunning tomorrow, if it's possible, and then another debate direct on the weekend. Maybe some FNAF. A second stream a day if I've got time. Hello, Moon Golem. Thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to see you coming back round here, mate. You're a really cool guy. I know we don't talk much, but you're like Elite Rover. You're one of the old reliables. Alright, Livy. So, Livy, I saw you comment on a video recently with your new account 11 days ago, but you're still signed in on your second one. What's going on with that? I really want to know. Okay, yeah, I checked the message. Good. Jelly hasn't shown up yet. So let's keep going through this. How does this look, by the way, guys? How does this, like, how does this look on the stream? Is the way the stream is, like, should the image be bigger? Or are you happy with the layout? I think it looks good. Like, is it too small or too big or whatever? I think I'm good with it, but say so if it feels uncomfortable. So yeah, let's keep going. So let's have a look at the lawful neutral, okay? Now, lawful neutral says, yes, I do support the death penalty. There are some truly evil people in this world. It's for our safety. That, I agree with. I think some people are just monsters, okay? But they say it is also a good deterrent. Now, at first I thought, okay, yeah, I guess that does make sense, actually. But let's fact check that real quick, because if we look in the links in the description, one of the first things we see is a death penalty in the UK article from Amnesty International. The first person on our list of charity okay, it's actually the third, not person, charity. But the third organisation on our charity shout-out list, guys, it's Amnesty International. These guys are against human rights abuses, you might remember them. Now, this article's pretty informative, and I think it's worth reading. So, the last British death sentence was about 50 years ago today. That's what they said in 2015. So it's been about 56 years. At 8 a.m. on the 13th of August in 1964, two men convicted just a few weeks earlier of murder were led to the gallows at separate prisons in Manchester and Liverpool. You can see Hangman's noose there. Now, no one involved knew at the time, but Gwyn Evans and Peter Allen were the last executions before capital punishment, which is the other name for the death penalty, capital punishment. It's before they were abolished in Britain, okay? They were abolished. And support for the death penalty has fallen much more in the last 50 years. A YouGov poll has shown that less than half, 45% of people still support the death penalty, down from 51% in 2010. So it's going down. It's still a lot. It's not a majority anymore, but it's a significant amount. But it's decreasing, and around the world it's decreased as well. The number of countries abolishing state-sponsored execution has doubled from 48 to 97. If I zoom in, you can probably read this better. There we go. That's much better, yeah. So I'll just take a slow scroll down so you guys can see that. You want to pause and read it, I guess, but I'm reading it anyway. So there's still been a lot of executions in the last 5 years. They have to exclude China from all these calculations because execution records are a state secret in China, and China is executing thousands and thousands and thousands more than any other country. There was actually an image, which was in the thumbnail, which it should be down here somewhere. Where is it? Where's the image? Was it this? There was an image which showed like a list. It was also from Amnesty, I think. Yeah, here it is. So Amnesty International also has an article here, which you can read in your own time. It goes quite in depth. It's very good. But these are the countries that still use the death penalty: China, Korea, North Korea, USA, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran. These are the world's top 5 executioners in 2018. Iraq is 52 plus in a year, Vietnam 85 plus, Saudi Arabia 149, Iran 253 or more, and China is in the thousands. I cannot emphasize the evil of the Chinese government. They are off the scale, alright? We don't even know the statistics because they're state secrets. Like, if journalists try and go and find out, the police will forcibly remove them. alright, and prevent them from looking inside, you know, the concentration camps, whatever they've got set up in there. Guys, really go educate yourselves if you don't know. There are 4 genocides happening right now, and I learned this from a meme recently, and I was like, oh my god, why isn't this, like, more in the news? I don't read the news enough. 4 genocides. What's the UN doing about it? Anyway, but yeah, that article's there, and as you can see, they go into some detail about, you know, the death penalty being a relic of the past and why we should continue to campaign to keep it that way. Now, I will honestly admit, this is a very emotionally and politically charged article. It is very anti-death penalty. They have an agenda, but maybe it's an agenda that's right. Maybe it's the agenda for the greater good. What is a fact is that the death penalty is not a deterrent. The UK's murder rate is at its lowest in 30 years despite the lack of executions. Many studies have shown that the threat of execution doesn't prevent homicides. So this argument that the death penalty is a good deterrent is completely invalid, and lawful neutral therefore is kind of weak source. I'm 50-50 because I agree with the other part, but the death penalty is not a good deterrent. They did a load of research, and there's no correlation between like crimes and like executions. There's also the risk of it being irreversible, so you know, if you accidentally execute an innocent person, there's no one doing that. If an innocent person's in prison, you can free them, but if they're executed, there's nothing wrong. And also, and I don't think this is because of the death penalty, I think this is because of other social political factors. Minorities are executed more. It discriminates. For example, you may know that in the United States of America, 13% of the population commits 52% of the crimes. The black people. What? Why? That's racist. No, it isn't. It's a fact. What is racist is the poverty and the economic conditions that are causing crimes in black neighborhoods more, and, you know, the impacts of segregation throughout history. Segregation has led to coloured communities kind of being separate, not exactly strictly anymore, but you know, there are black and there are white communities, and those black communities are really poor because of historic racism in the USA, and that poverty, that is what's leading to more, you know, petty crimes, not the fact that they're black. That's racist, okay? So be very, very careful when you specify that, but yeah, the majority of crimes in the USA are committed by a minority, and that's probably why the death penalty also discriminates, because I'm pretty sure, I don't even need to look this up, I'm like 110% confident this is right, but I'm not going to look it up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine more black people are executed than white people in the USA. I imagine that's just a fact. I mean, not counting, like, slaves, I guess, from years ago, but yeah, America's a horrible place. Okay, moving on. What are we saying in chat? I'm just checking in. Everything's amazing. This is crazy to know, but cool as well. Thank you, guys. Remember, if you have any opinions, no matter how radical or controversial, please feel free to put them in chat. I believe in freedom of speech. If you're saying something that is hate speech, I will mute you and stuff. Like, that's not okay. But everything else is. Like, hate speech is obviously not okay. But, you know, there are some solid pro-death penalty arguments, and I think I probably am pro-death penalty, with the right restrictions. That's like me being pro-capitalist. I'm actually a social democrat. I think capitalism's great, but unregulated, it can become something awful, and it kind of destroys itself, because companies are greedy and they create monopolies, blah, 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 blah. Let's move on. But yeah. Argue with me in chat, guys. I wanna, not in a rude way, just to say, on the other hand, I disagree with this and that. Because what we agree on is all fine and dandy, but the less obvious stuff, the things that we're not sure on, that's what's interesting. That's what Debate Direct is all about. So, true neutral is just, I don't know, maybe life in prison is sufficient in punishment. True neutral is the centrist. The people are like, I don't know, the state knows best, I'll just go with whatever the status quo is now. And that's completely fair enough. That's probably where most of you are right now, because I know for sure that that's where I started off. I've started off with true neutral, but I'm leaning towards lawful neutral and chaotic good at the same time, which is a bit odd. And that might be because, well, the person who made this, didn't do the best job with it. I'm not sure. But, maybe it's just a coincidence. They're just connected. Now, chaotic neutral is probably the worst one on here, because it has no logic. It has no consideration for human ethics. It's rubbish. Chaotic evil is more considered, okay? Chaotic evil says, who cares? The victims are already dead anyway, and that's like, what, you think we should just not bother with punishing them at all? Like, that kind of apathy is just disgusting. Like, if someone's murdered somebody, that's pretty serious. You want to look into that. You want to get the law on that shit. No. chaotic neutral is just awful. Now, chaotic evil is awful, but it's better because, you know, they're actually sure about their own point of view, and that I can respect. We'll get to that. Excuse me. But yeah, the victims are already dead anyway. Yeah, that's just like, that's horrible. That's awful. I feel really sorry for all of you in the USA because you've got a tough life. Yeah. I'm glad you agree, Seal Killer. Hello, Big Mouth. You're making a VR game, Mugun. That's really cool. Apologies that I can't stream that one, but it's really cool to know you're working on these kind of projects. But yeah, let's keep going. So, let's get into the evil ones now. What does lawful evil have to say? Yes, the death penalty is a good form of rehabilitation. And there's an or. There's actually two. First of all, that one confuses me. For the record... Oh, what's this? What is this? Oh, this is Brave. Guys, I'm using Brave, but I'm also using Ecosia. Let's Google the word rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is the process of re-educating and retraining those who commit a crime. It's about taking criminals and preparing them for society again, making them into better people who won't commit crimes again. It's a set of interventions designed to optimize functioning, reduce disability in individuals with health conditions in interaction with their environment. Okay, so it can be that as well. Rehabilitation has a few definitions. And it's like for disabled people and criminally insane people and all that kind of stuff. To restore good health and useful life. So I have no idea what the fuck lawful evil's on about when they said that death penalty is a form of rehabilitation. It's the exact opposite. How? I ask. How is the death penalty a form of rehabilitation? Because that makes no sense. It's the complete opposite. Like, rehabilitation is reforming someone to improve their life. Death penalty is cutting them off, right? Like, Freddy from Count the Ways, Fazbear Frights, would be pro-death penalty. Like, he's also a classical libertarian by the sounds of things, because he went on about the French Revolution and all the beheadings. But, he you know, Millie argues about rehabilitation and making people better, but he thinks it's a wasted effort and that killing them is just much more efficient, which is a fair enough point of view, but, you know. I don't know if this is giving me what I want. Again, it doesn't... I don't know how... This is just saying what it is. Like, capital punishment, death penalty, how is it rehabilitation? That's dumb. That makes no sense. You need to look up your words. But there's an or. Lawful evil could also be no, so there's both yes and no for lawful evil, somehow. Lawful evil might also say, no, we must completely subjugate our enemies. There will be no martyrs in this regime. So they're against the death penalty because they don't want to make martyrs of their opposition. I'm not for torture and stuff and like making like... Hear me out. Okay. The worst of the worst criminals. Maybe it's better for society and easier if you just kill them, right? Cut them off, get them out of there, no more threat. They're never going to come back and be a problem. But perhaps life is a greater punishment because life has suffering and you can make them suffer. Put them in a room, strap them to an electric chair, get the hot bits of metal, whatever, you know. Maybe the worst of the worst deserve torture and psychological torture. And I wouldn't personally. I'm not about that kind of inhumane treatment. Like, at the end of the day, I wouldn't make, you know, death row criminals comfortable, but I'd keep them alive. I wouldn't torture them. I'd just give them the rundown. You can't sleep comfortably. The food and water is shit. Just basic poverty, poor conditions kind of thing. Because that, like, what lawful evil is expressing here is just extreme. I do not want to have anything to do with any kind of regime, and I don't want to have anything to do with martyrs either. But no, lawful evil's wrong on both fronts, in my opinion. So we're gonna skip that because that's just like. It's too ideological. But here's something that's really good, that's less ideological. I mean, yes, it's very economic, but not so much social. Neutral evil says, yes, we should support the death penalty because the incarcerated are wasting my tax money. And this is where prisons come in. This is why I've put prisons and the death penalty in the title of this stream. Because there are a lot of arguments pro-death penalty that would solve Britain's prisons being a problem. Also, I just noticed someone's message is being held for review. Let me show that. I'm going to read and respond to these in a minute. Oh, yeah, absolutely sealed. I'm not racist to all Americans. It's the American government I'm talking about. Specifically the Republican Party, but also kind of the Democratic. They're both terrible, kind of-ish. The guys who did Trump's impeachment were amazing. I will say that. I like them. They were brilliant. That's really cool, sealed. Yeah, I remember you're from Serbia, of course, but yeah, I have many friends from America too. But let me open these links in the description, guys, because there's a lot of interesting things to happen. Are Britain's prisons a disaster waiting to happen? Asks someone on Channel 4. Now, for those of you who don't know, Channel 4 News, well, Channel 4 began as the fourth TV channel in England. There was BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV, and then there was Channel 4. And they're a brilliant news source, very reliable, definitely go check them out. Now, this article's from 2017, so it is a couple years old, but it's definitely still relevant and applies today. Now, they mention a spate of prison riots happening around July in 2017, violence breaking out of jails in Hertfordshire and Worcestershire. And there are a number of problems with UK prisons. Prison population is rising. The most obvious pressure point on prisons is the increasing number of inmates. This has been a long-term trend that means jail capacity needs to be constantly expanded, and that costs loads of taxpayer money, and land, and resources. This is the increase in prison population, guys. It was high enough, and it took a dip from the 1920s across to the 1950s, and it's slowly gone up to about, the 1995 or so, and it's shot up since then. And it's kind of flattened out, but the prison population is, well, that's, I think, thousands? It's pretty much, it's like 4 times what it was 100 years ago. Like, it's doubled in the last 20 years or so. It's quadrupled in the last 60, 70, and it's quadrupled in the last 100 or so. It's gone up. The graph speaks for itself. Now, this is not surprising in itself. The overall population of the UK has gone up, so we would expect prisoner numbers to rise too. However, they have also increased as a proportion of wider population. If the population didn't increase, this would still be shooting up. Like, you'd expect it to go up at maybe a little bit of rate, but the rate it's going up shows that it's proportional. More people are being put in prison. Why are more people committing crime? Or is it a problem with the judicial system? It's increased 5-fold between 1900 and 2016, which is crazy. And the rise in the general population has been about 2-fold. So 5-fold versus 2-fold, guys. That's what a recent parliamentary report said. And there's the prison population again. And prisoner numbers have actually remained fairly stable since 2010. So that's like population at month end from the same report. And the reason for this is that criminals are being handed longer sentences, so less of them are like coming and going. But the recent spate of riots is to do with fewer prison officers. So there's another factor which I looked into, and I highly recommend you read this whole article, but for the sake of the stream, I'm skipping over it. There are fewer police officers and they're less experienced. This is also the case for the teaching industry. Despite the fact that inmate numbers have increased, there are fewer people keeping watch over them with less experience. Since the fucking Conservatives came to power in 2010, the austerity drive has seen the number of prison officers fall. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, the workforce went down. Now, this could be worse. This honestly could be much worse. Like, they've kept it at about 15,000, which is good. But this was 4 years ago. And the understaffing is a problem. Understaffing is a problem in prisons. It's gone up from looking after 3.8 inmates to 4.7. Alright? Prisons per prison officer. Again, there's another interesting graph. I'm just going to skip over that. With at least 2 years of service. Again, the number of experienced officers is going down. And there's the problem of private prisons. Now, privatizing prisons, ideologically, I'm not opposed to that. I think that's okay. I think that could work. But the Ministry of Justice gives regular updates on the number of prison officers and employees. Britain's has many private prisons that are run by businesses separate from the government, and they don't publish data. That's fucking shady. And yeah, the government's outsourced loads of stuff since the 1990s, run by Serco, Justice Services, Sodexo, G4S, whatever. And they don't publish statistics, which is a big yikes. and one's for security reasons, but they didn't explain what the security concern was, which is a big fat lie to save costs, because they, you know, they only care about money. And the lack of information makes it increasingly hard to analyse the problem in Britain's jails. Oh, there's a typo. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. What a terrible typo. Ignore that, guys. The person writing this is very literate, I assure you. But yeah, the proportion of criminals held in private prisons has gone up by nearly 2/3 in the last 10 years. 18% of all inmates are run by businesses. That's kind of scary, honestly. That's scary. Could be worse. Again, could be much worse. It's like not a fifth. But it's a little concerning. Not that the government's particularly good, but at least they actually record information accurately. And self-harm and self-inflicted deaths have reached record highs, which is suggestions increasing levels of mental health problems, unhappiness, and inadequate care, which is absolutely true. 119 prisoners killed themselves in 2016, which is the highest figure since records began. Self-inflicted deaths. There's the chart, okay? It actually says 2015. I think that it starts 2015 and ends 2016, but when this article was made, it was just a couple years ago, guys. The highest ever recorded, okay? It's gone up by 84% since 2004, 13 out of every 100 prisoners. And the rate is far worse among female prisoners, for reasons which I hope are obvious. And what is the verdict? The verdict. Well, this is just what the author thinks, but I think it's pretty obvious from the evidence. Don't deny it. There are dozens of factors that could explain violence and disorder in prisons, from staffing levels to availability of drugs, poor conditions, outsourcing or privatization, lack of information. And the situation does vary greatly between prisons. Some prisons are really nice and clean, tidy, others are hellholes. The statistics show that the riots from that month were not a flash in the pan crisis, okay? Flash in the pan crisis, that's what yeah. There are long-term trends which suggest the pressure on prisons is increasing. Violence in prison numbers are going up, but staffing is going down. Quality of prisons is down. This is a serious issue. We need a solution, okay? Now, the great solution which I propose is that, well, let me think. Let's, first of all, stay in the EU so we can keep the economy afloat. Let's stop using austerity. I mean, maybe not to the same extreme. Austerity in some measures could be useful, but, you know, maybe have some kind of economic plan which relies more on, I don't know, taxing the rich properly, and then using that money to invest in improving prisons, education, the NHS, pretty much everything, actually, and making poor people less poor, definitely. And also not privatizing necessities. And also maybe just remove all of government and just clean slate, start fresh with people who actually know what they're doing and care about human lives. I think that would be a really good step forward. Sorry guys, I get I'm getting way too emotional about this. It's just, you know, it's old news, but the government pisses me off in this country. They can't do anything right. I mean, maybe they can get one or two things right. I don't know. I don't want to make blanket judgments, but like, the more I read, the more I learn that Tories are just, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I have my own political views, and you should understand that these are just my views. These are not facts. Okay, some of these are facts. What I was reading on here, what is on these graphs, the numbers here, these are facts. Everything else is just my views. Okay, you don't have to agree with them. But I think the Conservative Party is evil. However, I agree with this. If we use the death penalty more, maybe that could reduce prison populations. Maybe that could save some costs. The thing is, though, I wouldn't use it unless it was in an extreme case, and that implies using it en masse for, you know, criminals who committed lower crimes, and that's not okay. So I disagree. I do think the incarcerated are wasting tax money, and I do think the death penalty would be useful for extreme cases only. But I don't think the death penalty would solve the problems in this article. I don't think it would be enough, because we shouldn't need to kill that many people just because they've been committing crimes. I think the real solution to this is economic reform, okay? Economic reform, grassroots, from the ground, okay? And it starts with taxing the rich properly so the government can use newfound money to invest properly, rather than putting it all in fucking Trident. Anyway, ooh, That's interesting, Argentron. Okay, so I'm gonna read the last one on the chat, guys, and then I'm gonna start responding to chat, okay? So keep the messages coming. I'll be right back. So, Chaotic Evil says, yes, for my amusement, I like seeing people get hanged, stoned, and beheaded. I disagree with that, obviously. I think the only thing I can say to that is that there's something wrong with you, and if you really, really need that in your life, there are video games out there and fiction which can supplant it for you. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's not cool. That, like, yeah, obviously. But at least they're better than Chaotic Neutral, who's like, who cares? None of this matters. Which is like, you know, they're worse than the true neutrals in being apathetic. So, I disagree with all of this, except Chaotic Good. I think I'm leaning towards Chaotic Good the most, because I respect Chaotic Good the most. Half of Lawful Neutral, kinda. And Neutral Good, kinda. And Neutral Evil, kinda. And True Neutral, kinda. Definitely judge. So I agree with Chaotic Good, Neutral Evil, Lawful Neutral, Neutral Good, and True Neutral to an extent. Not 100% all of them. But yeah, Lawful Good, Lawful Evil, Chaotic Evil, and Chaotic Neutral, get out of here. So, very weird, I know. I don't know what my opinion truly is, or if it could be adequately expressed on this graph. But that's the alignment chart, guys. Links in the description, or check that out. And there are also a bunch of other links, so I'm going to open these up, and maybe we can have a glance at them while I'm reading. So, there's more stuff about the UK's death penalty. Do you mind? I'm going to leave this here to separate things out. And I'm just going to open these up in a new tab. So there's a bunch. We already looked at this. That was the thing in the thumbnail. That was the image with the statistics, which I don't need to look at again. So there's other articles about the death penalty, and then more stuff about UK prisons to give us more information on that. Because death penalty on its own is interesting, but let's connect it to the prison issue. Would it be an adequate solution? Probably not. But could it partially solve it? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could go. So yeah. But yeah, guys, definitely check out Channel 4, and also The Guardian. They're my favourite news sources. They're really good. CNN as well for American stuff. Better than both of these, actually. And Private Eye. I read Private Eye. Obviously, Private Eye is amazing. So what does chat got to say? So, America is a horrible place, can't agree more. Yep, it's hell out there. The gun laws alone are terrifying, but the economy and the racism, So yeah, now, Argentron feels like the death penalty is many aspects good and bad. I would agree. As said, it is irreversible, but many people deserve it, especially people in the US. I don't know much about the UK, but the US, well, yeah, the crazy... You know what, guys? You know what? Let me go get the article, because this is gonna blow your mind. Okay. Almost got it. It's just in here. Okay, hold on. I need to put my things down somewhere. Gosh, I'm running out of room for everything here. But if I put my things here, shut my window a bit. If you had ever... Yeah, hold on. Guys, if you'd ever had any doubts about the lunatics that the USA produces because the state doesn't care for its people, you gotta hear this. Because it's insane. Like, these people are probably inbred or something. It's honestly horrifying. Let me go get it. So, no, that was Andrew Mitchell, Media News. Where is it? There was a really interesting article about Death Row Watch. Here we go, guys. Death Row Watch. I'm going to read out a bit of an article, okay? So... on the 16th of January, Dustin Higgs became the 13th in Donald Trump's record-breaking run of executions, the biggest by any state or the government in US history. He died at Trump's 11th hour after the US Supreme Court vacated a stay of execution intended to permit consideration of whether it was lawful to execute Higgs while ill, knowing delay would see incoming President Joe Biden halt the run. Now, the whole article makes the point that it's absurd how, if someone's sick, they can't be executed. You have to be healthy in order to be yeah, it's weird, it's dumb. Here are some examples of people who have been on death row, okay? Raymond Riles, age 70, has been on death row in Texas since 1976. That's 45 years. He's spent 40 years in solitary confinement. This person's probably not even human anymore. He was banned from the courtroom for bizarre behaviour. He set fire to himself in 1985. He's been repeatedly deemed by medical experts grossly psychotic, dominated by religious delusions. He's been on high-dose antipsychotics since 1976, been repeatedly in and out of psychiatric hospital as the state tries to make him well enough to kill him. Not only is that stupid as hell, that's taxpayers' money going into all of that. What's the point? This guy could have been executed in 1976 and just done and dusted with that crap, alright? Because it's been 45 years, guys. He's clearly not going to be rehabilitated into society. George Banks has been on death row since 1982. He was ruled out incompetent to die in 2010. Fred Singleton believes that he can't be killed because of his genie. James Frazier had dementia but died of COVID in November. Clarence Jordan believes he's Jesus. He's been waiting for execution in Texas since 1978. Syed Rabini, who has repeatedly sued all life forms in all galaxies for torturing him, has been there since 1988. Madness. Alvin Ford thought he was the Pope, but could not be executed whilst he didn't understand why, but once he did. He's been... Yeah, he's been there since the 86 as well. Oh my god. Emmanuel Kemp on Texas death row since 1988 believes he has been executed 6 times already. And this was written by Dr. Grimm, so credit where it's due. Private Eye, guys. Absolutely fantastic news source. Also satirical, comedic, political magazine. Don't know how well you can see that, but there it is, guys. Private Eye. Good source. So, here's the thing. I think those people are living proof that very rarely, with 13 people maybe out of millions, that the death sentence, the capital punishment, is totally appropriate. I mean, it's not like the state's really gone to much effort to rehabilitate them, I'll be honest. You know, solitary confinement, they're doing what they can, but probably could do better. I still think, though, that's proof that some people can't be redeemed. Some people are truly evil, and it would be for the greater benefit of everyone if we just executed them. The main problem is the risk of executing the wrong person. I'm not even sure. I think you'd have to have a shit judiciary system to make that happen, but the risk does exist. It is always there, and that's probably why it was abolished. I haven't looked much into that itself. But yeah, what's chat saying? So... Oh, I absolutely consider you a friend, Steel Killer. We're friends, okay? We can be friends forever. Best friends. Very best friends. No, we're fans of each other, so we're friends now. Yeah. That's really cool, though. Yeah, UK is not very different from USA, unfortunately. It's drifting away from Europe and moving towards the United States, and it's not making me happy. Economically, socially, culturally. It's really interesting to know the requests of people's last meals. Yeah, tell me about it, Trom. I've read articles like that before. Yep, teaching industry went to shit after Thatcher. Yep. I guess they're getting popular. The thing is, right, the requirements for being a teacher have been lowered, and the funding for teaching from the government's decreased, so private schools have, like, increased in popularity. I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not expert on the economic history of the UK, especially in the last, you know, half century of Tory austerity, but I am aware of the real consequences here today. I see it when I go out. You know, I've seen in the last couple of years, now we have to pay for medicine when you used to be able to get it for free because you paid for it for your taxes. It's weird, man. It's kind of scary. I'm pretty sure taxes aren't increasing though, but they're not decreasing. But both would probably be bad. I'm not sure. I know it's counterintuitive for me to say this because I would pay I would have to, you know, bear the hardship of this, but taxes probably should go up. They should go up for the rich because proportionally they're not. Yeah. Anyway, they get to pick any food. That's funny. Yeah. I wish I could laugh about Brexit because it was a harebrained scheme that I didn't think could possibly be taken seriously, and then we won by like 5% of the population, and holy shit, not even that, 2.5%. The things that people believe, honestly, like, part of me wants to make this country a better place, part of me doesn't care, because the people so obviously want to suffer themselves. You know, like, you know, people queuing up at food banks have voted for Tories, guys. I mean, what does that say about the mentality of the English working class? One guy ordered a lot so he could die by diabetes before being executed. Both sound bad. I think I'd rather get executed. I mean, how would he die? If it was a bullet to the skull, it would be, like, momentary. You wouldn't experience anything. If it was being hanged, that would be pretty nasty. I don't know how I'd want to die, but I want it to be quick and painless. Hey, let's stay at friends only. Oh. Alright, if you say so. Friends with benefits. Ethan's gonna clip that. It's gonna be like, Mr. Matt makes friends with benefits out of context. Oh yeah, that's right. You can come over to my place. I can't stretch out my crotch any further, but yeah. I actually have a pair of pants with a hole in the worst place. I never wear them out, just indoors, because they're comfy still, and they're like mostly intact, but it's like, how did that happen? Is it too big in there? Is it, okay, let's move on. My bloody chair. Guys, I think my chair wants my ass. I mean, that's kind of what chairs are made for, but you know, I think it took the friends with benefits thing a bit too seriously. Oh boy. But yeah, jokes aside, not into that. I mean, my girlfriend was had polyamory for a bit, but I think she was just lying to herself so that she didn't have to break up with her previous girlfriend, which she did, because that was a toxic relationship. Apparently, I wasn't really there for most of it. But I can't imagine being in love with more than one person, or having a sexual relationship with anyone other than that person. I feel like that'd just be, I don't know, weird. Inject people with stuff. Oh yeah, sometimes people just like overdose them on that drug. Some kind of like morphine or something, I don't know, something lethal. That wouldn't be so bad, because I'm so used to feeling ill. Yeah, lethal injection. Lethal injection's quite humane compared to most ways of dying. Like, you know, it's not like they're going full, you know, Arabian samurai and just whoosh, beheading them with a sword. Is it Arabia where they do that? Saudi Arabia? I think it is. Funtime Freddy told me. Count the Ways Freddy. He said, I think in Saudi Arabia they still execute people with a sword. Like, that's just messy. Lethal injection, however, is clean, because then they can dispose of the body easily. No blood. Anyway. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, so that's what I think. So let's have a look at more of these articles now that I'm caught up with chat. So, is the UK government stance on the death penalty shifting? Well, for many, many years, the status quo has been anti-capital punishment, anti-death penalty. But something happened recently. So, Sajid Javid, this cunt, look at him. Look at his weird, like, he doesn't look human, guys. Look at his weird-ass face. He's like Megamind, but without the Megamind. Look at him ears. You know what he is? He's an elf. Or a pixie, I'm not sure. One of them pointy-eared bastards. Anyway, now basically there was a letter mentioning that the UK government would not seek assurances over the use of the death penalty. Now, the death penalty has been abolished since 1965, okay? It's been abolished. Legally, you cannot execute someone. By law, the government cannot execute someone. And there's a load of information here which you can read if you want to know more about it. You can also see the news here. But he's been accused of abandoning moral stand because, despite the fact the death penalty is banned in this country, there were these two dudes, I think they were like terrorists or something. Yeah. So Alexander Kote and El Shafi El Sheikh. What are these names? Okay, so Alex and Elle have been alleged to be members of a four-man cell of ISIS executioners in Syria and Iraq, responsible for killing a series of high-profile Western captives. These two dudes, okay? So these are executioners who work on behalf of ISIS. Now, they were stripped of their British citizenship, captured in January, and despite the fact that the death penalty has been abolished for years and there's been no movement to change that in legislation, Sajid Javid, it's as if he didn't know the law, and he just said that there wouldn't be any assurances that it wouldn't be used. Not that it would be used, but just that no assurances that it wouldn't be used. That'd be on the table. And I think this is purely a case of yet another incompetent, selfish, thoughtless, immoral Tory politician just, you know, saying something that they feel is right without any regard for what the law actually is or what, you know, their party actually thinks, even that. But yeah, and there should have been death penalty assurance here, but there wasn't. And the implication is that the UK might be shifting its stance and re-implementing the death penalty might be there. And this is weird because I actually kind of agree here. I think we should reinstate it, but I think it's like capitalism. You've got to be very careful with how you restrict it, and I would not trust a Tory politician as far as I could throw them. Oh man, God, I'm so politically biased. This is way too emotive. I'm sorry guys, but it's personal. It's personal. Oh man. Yeah, please don't take my opinions to be facts, okay? I know I'm ranting a lot, but like, well, it seems to me very obvious that we're being ruled by, I don't know, freaks. But yeah, that's what that article was about. I'm not gonna watch the video, that I don't have time. And this was like the prison stuff. Excuse me. So, you can read these articles in your own time. They basically go over the same thing, but you know, there's been a lot of violence in a report from one of the private prisons owned by Serco. And like, there's been loads of deaths and suicides in there. The Prison Service Management's own assessment rated 28 prisons as of concern, which just goes to show privatizing prisons is a terrible idea. Regulate them. That you shouldn't be like, it's just basic capitalism. All they care about is money. They're not going to enforce quality unless the government does it for them. You know, they're not going to care about reforming criminals if they can make more money by, you know, containing them. Yeah, it's all kinds of things. I wonder how the SCP Foundation makes money, actually, just thinking about that. I think governments pay them. Because they're protecting the entire world. But yeah, there's a load of examples, reports, striking prison officers from all across the years. Some of these reports are a bit newer. This is actually from 2016, so it's older. But, you know, declining staff levels, increase in assaults on staff, you know, you can see all the statistics yourself for here. The prison population, operational prison staff, this is going down. This isn't actually going up, but it's kind of verging on going up. It's like flatlining. There's a deep crisis in British prisons, according to this report from 2021. So this is, I know it gives you the one that's 2 months old, but this is actually much newer than anything else we've had. And there's been an increase to almost 60 cases per 100 prisons blamed on lack of experienced staff and overcrowding. We need more prison staff. But we don't want this to become a, you know, a police state. Like, if this country becomes a police state, we're all done for. And I think what people don't understand is that you don't want to increase security. This is like the argument the USA had, like, but we shouldn't defund the police because then they won't have enough. It's not about that. We need to defund the police so that the burden of these kind of things can be properly carried by other sectors. So that, you know, we have less criminals and more of these people are reformed and, you know, taken into the hands of people who can help them get homes again, get jobs, you know, that kind of thing. So that we don't need as much security because, you know, it's like violence, solving violence, fire, putting out fire. No, it doesn't work like that. That's the whole problem. That's why America needs to seriously relax its gun laws, because, like, the school shootings would drop. Literally, just look at any other country which has banned, you know, private ownership of guns. Like, basic. But yeah, and this is, like, I feel like we're going to become a country like the USA sometime in the next few decades. It's looking that way. Just the culture and the economy is bad. And I'm glad to say that, like, I'm not claiming to be an expert. You can totally refute my opinions with facts and logic and absolutely destroy me because I'm a libtard. Like, because I know not everyone who watches this will agree with my political opinions. That's fine. Again, a lot of what I'm saying is very specific to my own socio-cultural context and wouldn't necessarily apply ideologically to other countries as well. But, you know, what I am saying here is that, I'm entitled to my opinion. And, I don't know, I think the facts do speak for themselves. Not all of them line up with my opinion, but, you know. I was going to say something really intellectual and now I've forgotten. No, what I was going to say is that I am much more informed on this than I was when I was younger, and I'm really happy to say. I was rewatching an Iron Man 2 clip when Tony Stark says, "I privatized world peace." When I was younger, I had no idea what he meant by that. Now I realise, I was like, holy fucking shit, he's the bad guy. He's the real bad guy in that film, guys. But no, he moved on from that. But yeah, there's been a lot more use of force, a lot more violence, a lot of, there have been funding injections in recent years to stabilize the system. And this is probably why we see all those graphs kind of flatline after 2016, 2017. I think this was a really hot topic back then. So since 2017, there's been some injections with funding to stabilize things, but it's stabilized at a level which is kind of intolerable. And there's still way too many people in prison, way too few officers for that people. Like, I think the lack of staff isn't a lack of staff, it's an overcrowding of prisons. Too many people are getting locked up. Maybe the law's too harsh, but I think it's rather just, you know, more people are committing crimes because of the poor economic, you know, state of the UK. But yeah, there's some statistics here and stuff. You can all read it. It's all linked in the description, guys. It just kind of elaborates on what I was saying. I'm not going to go read each one individually all in depth. I think that'd be boring. You can read it for yourself. But this one, if you have to read one of them the whole way through, pick this one. This is the best one, okay? And of course, check out Reddit. It's a great site. So, yeah, what do we think? Any other comments after what I've said? What do you think about public executions? Okay, public executions, again, they didn't really touch on this. They didn't really touch on this in the video, but I still don't think that worked as a deterrent. I guess it could, because if it's public, it's more likely to scare people. But, you know, if the state has to put people in fear to stop them committing crimes, I think there's a fundamental trust issue going on, and that's not okay. So I'm all against public executions. I think public executions are... Yeah, that's what chaotic evil's about. It's like, oh yeah, not only are we going to do this for all these logical reasons, we're going to relish in it. We're going to enjoy murdering people. That's not okay. You know, just because the state is executing someone who's committed a big old crime, just because a government decides to send soldiers to war to kill other soldiers by a different government, all of that is still murder. It's all the same. It's all still murder. No, like, abortion. Abortion is murder, but I am pro-choice. Is it murder? I guess it depends where you draw the line with life. That's a bit more complicated. Guys, I know it's a bit of an obvious topic, but I've thought about this for a long time. Would you like to see me debate about abortion? Would you like to see me debate about abortion, maybe? Is Jelly here? I was just thinking about women. She's a woman, I'm pretty sure. Not that I would... Alright, this is getting pretty weird, but Jelly, are you coming back? Are you coming back? Bro, I'm... finishing this stream in, I'm gonna say 20 minutes. I feel like that's the amount of time we need to do, like, the, you know, proper end of debate stuff. Jelly's not come back, guys. I think Jelly might have left. God damn it. Guys, I'm really struggling to interact with women. Even though I have a girlfriend, you know, females are just beyond me, man. How do I talk to girls? I'm kidding. Hello. I thought I saw something. I think it was live chat. Yeah, Nope. Seal killer's typing. Okay. Well, guess I'm gonna look at chat for a bit. But yeah, public executions, just bad on all fronts. Like, there's no good reason for it. Like, we know that executions aren't a deterrent. That's been scientifically proven. And putting it in public is just gross. What if children see this? What if children see someone being hanged? That's what they did in the Middle Ages. That would scar someone. That's, like, horrific, man. Matt said we're friends... Oh, no. Oh, no. Matt said we're friends with benefits. Fuck. But, you know, like, the, yeah, I can't think of anything positive about public executions. It doesn't work as a deterrent. It could actually expose the flaws of the death penalty more so than its pros, because it gives people more insight into it. DC, I'm really sorry, I don't know why. That's a bit of an L. That's from ages ago. Why did this ping you? That's from a collab we did ages ago. Hello, Lucy, Greenella, thank you for joining. Pro-choice all the way, agreed, absolutely. I don't think it's murder. I think it kind of is murder. It depends where you draw the line with life. I'm not going to get into that, but if you guys want to see me do a debate on abortion, say so, because I could totally do that. It'd be really spicy. The problem is, I can't make a solid argument for pro-life, so I would be very biased, and that would kind of destabilize the debate. I think it's an old topic that's been done. This one is kind of it's an old topic, but there's a lot more moral ambiguity. So, I absolutely agree with you. Yep, let's not return how things were in the Middle Ages. Hello. Thank you for joining, DC. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you both. Leave a like if you're enjoying. If we hit the like goal, I'll do another debate direct soon. So just finishing to read everything that Seal Killer was saying. The roast, though, lol. Megamind, but without the Megamind. Yeah, conservative politicians all look weird. None of them, they all have really weird facial features. Like, political cartoons don't even need to exaggerate them. It's weird. Off topic, but thoughts on Gordon Ramsay? I think he's a real bully at times, to be honest. I think he's unnecessarily scary with the way he gets really angry at people. And, like, I imagine, as funny as it is for the memes and as good as the shows are and as great as it is that he's reforming these awful restaurants, sometimes the ass kicking is totally deserved. But sometimes you see him yelling down these poor young chefs and it's like, what the hell, dude? Show a little respect. These people are trying their best. And it's like, I feel a bit uncomfortable watching it because he's just bullying them outright. But yeah, he's mostly a good guy, I guess. I'm kind of neutral with Gordon Ramsay. I wouldn't want to be friends with him, but, you know, he's a cool dude, and he's done great work, and he deserves the fame and the wealth he's accumulated, I think. He's done good work. In Poland, prisoners can get jobs and get an education. Also a life sentence, not a death sentence. There's opposites. The life sentence is being in prison forever, death sentence is dying forever. So the life sentence is about 12 years. That's pretty reasonable, I think. I think life sentence is actually a pretty good, tried and tested punishment for prisoners. It's, you know, if you have someone in prison for a long time and you gradually reform, you start off with pretty bad conditions and you slightly improve them when they behave well and you give them some education, that kind of thing works. I haven't got any statistics or articles to say, but I'm pretty sure that's worked in Scandinavia. I'm pretty sure that's worked in Poland. I'm pretty sure that's worked in the civilized countries, where we don't have people like Trump and Johnson in running the game, running the show. But yeah, they also get internet in cells which look more like hotel rooms with bars. This is what I don't like. Sometimes people go to prison by choice. They commit crimes so that they can live more comfortably. Can we just think about that for a moment? Can you imagine living in a place where prisons are more comfortable than your homes? That's kind of fucked up. Prisons shouldn't be comfortable. They should be enough to keep someone alive without going to strenuous, torturous extents. But let's be real, these people committed crimes, so at least for the first few weeks, I would say, depending on the severity of the crime, you know, just give them enough that's, you know, the least costly and, you know, will keep them here. And then you can give them comfortable stuff if they've behaved well, or if their crime wasn't very, you know, serious, or if they've only committed a crime once. I don't know. Something like that. Again, you know, I'm no lawyer. If I were to write the entire law, I'd have to go into loads and loads of specifics of all kinds of situations. I think at the end of the day, this is why we have, like, trials and stuff. Every crime you have to judge individually. And that relies on trust of the judges and the juries. But, you know, that's my take. I think you have to treat these things individually. But yeah, hotel rooms with bars. You know, I wouldn't give serial killers, you know, comfortable prisons, and I would not give them internet access. Maybe a TV that displays the news so they can see what's happening in the outside world to keep them up to date, but no. But yeah, stream. Ramsay can be immensely generous and kind too, though. I've seen how he is compared with children versus adults. It's bizarre. I think he's putting on a bit of a show with how different he is. Now, I'm not a fan of people being inconsistent with their personalities, but that is a fair point. He is. Some people are ridiculously dense. Fair enough, fair enough. Like, some of the restaurants he's been at are absolutely awful, and the people deserve to get, you know, yelled off and smacked by and whatever. It's only in America when Gordon's yelling, at least that's what I noticed. What he's doing in the UK thinks he's less angry. When he's in UK shows, I think he's less angry, yeah. The American shows do the editing to make it all intense, and flames and guns, and oh, look, the drama. And the UK actually is intelligent and informed. The American version of the show is terrible, yeah. Hell's Kitchen, yeah. My voice is beginning to wear out, guys. I've been starting to feel ill today, so bear with me. I'm going to have to end the stream soon, and, you know, I might be a little out of it. But yeah, it's the editing that makes the difference. As a video editor myself, I know all about editing and how that can change what you keep, what you cut out. Can change the perception completely. But, like, it's not entirely him, of course. Every Kitchen Nightmare episode is legit the same. Yeah, it's trash American TV. Like, you know, sometimes he's not in control. It's the directors on him, so no. Gordon Ramsay's not a bad guy at all. I'm just saying I don't think I want to be friends with him, personally. Besides, I don't know that much about food. I'd probably get really uncomfortable, and he'd, like, you know, bully me for being terrible at cooking. Why are there only 5 people watching? I have almost 450 subscribers, and I can barely get 10 per stream. I'm worried that I'm gonna become one of those channels that has a huge inactive fan base, which is gonna be really annoying. But such is life, guys. Oh my god, we've actually hit exactly 450 subscribers, guys. We did it. I have 450 subscribers. I should start planning the 500 subscriber special. I mentioned it earlier. I think it's time. This looks like the stream to do it. I'm going to start talking about it. I'm going to take Jelly out the thumbnail if she doesn't show up. Jelly's abandoned me, guys. It doesn't have to be. Wait, what do you want about? If everyone takes it seriously, it's a joke, lol. It doesn't have to be. Look at these dudes. You guys can see this. Look at these dudes. That's kind of sus. That is sus as fuck. Guys, I've got Sealed Killer and Diamond Chef in a room together. The guy who made FNAF Maker, or Help Maker, and the guy who made FNAF Engine, and the guy who made FNAF Builder. Side by side. How cool is that? The Serbian guy and the American guy. That's really cool. I've never seen you two in a room together. Maybe we could get a room together. I'm just kidding. Crenella, I would like a room with you. I'm sorry. She's my girlfriend, guys. It's okay. If she consents, you know. It could be this room. Or your room. I prefer your room, but travel restrictions. Am I right? I don't even have a passport. I'm close to getting a passport, but even if I wanted to, I couldn't travel. Like, the only reason I don't have a passport is because of COVID. If COVID had passed, I would have a passport by now. But yeah. Every Kitchen Nightmares episode is the same. Yeah, exactly. The people who do that are, like, homeless. Homelessness, guys, are another... Like, people go to prison because they're homeless. Homelessness is a huge issue in the UK. We have thousands and thousands of people who are homeless, and it's only going up. And it's like, there was this brilliant fiction story I studied in Year 8, which dealt with this topic. Long story short, but this guy becomes homeless, and he has to learn to survive in the streets. It's really dark, honestly, for 12-year-olds, but it was a good story. And, like, he makes a friend, and, like, they fall in love. And there's a serial killer who's killed his other friend, and like there's this whole adventure story, and in the end his girlfriend turns out to be a journalist who was playing a role the whole time to investigate him, and the serial killer is put in prison, a prison where he has a bed and food and free access to all the things he needs, which taxpayers pay for, and he's taken care of, and the protagonist is left with the fact that his closest relationship was fake the whole time. His best friend's dead. He's got no one who can trust him, no one to rely on, and he's still homeless. The journalists, and they just walk away. It's really fucking sad. And it goes to prove how, you know, we're giving serial killers better treatment than people who got kicked out of their home because of bad parents and stuff. And again, it's all of these issues, you know, homelessness, overpopulation, you know, overstaffed prisons, poor NHS, poor, you know, education, you know, all these, you know, infrastructural sectors. All of this could be solved if we tax the rich properly, and if we start letting them avoid tax, and we use that money, and if the government used that money to improve society. Via the economy. Like, it's as simple as that, guys. Just tax the rich and use their money properly. 2 steps. I don't trust this government, though. I think even if this government taxed the rich, they themselves would just hoard it, because they are the same. A lot of these rich people who are tax avoiding and people in government cross over. We are being run by unelected bureaucrats in the UK. No one voted for Boris Johnson. His party voted him. No people. And yeah, well, wait, why is Lucy's messages retracted? Oh no, did you make a typo? I wanted to read that. I'm working on way too many FNAF related things. You're making FNAF Custom Night, my FNAF Minecraft server, and 5 Night Trolls of Horror. Dude, okay, breathe out, one thing at a time, okay? Don't work on multiple projects at once, that's my advice. Guys, I am not sus, Matt vented. Hey! This always happens when I play Among Us. Everyone turns things against me. Nobody trusts me when I'm telling the truth. I'm gonna get voted out. Because I'm totally the imposter. Matt wants a room with somebody. If you could try lowering the stream cooldown if you have it enabled, allow it to interact with chat better as we respond earlier. For me, it's a minute delayed. Guys, little problem. I can't do that. Okay. Stream settings on YouTube. You have the option to delay it by 30 seconds, by 60 seconds. Mine has no delay. This is the quickest I could get. This is the closest to real-time interaction I could get. If the delay between chat and me is really that bad, maybe I should decrease my quality. But that would mean no more HD. Because my streams are in 720p HD most of the time. And I don't know if you guys want that trade-off. If it's like a full minute delayed, it used to be 12 seconds. I don't know what happened. It's because I don't have my data connection. I'm on Wi-Fi, so it's more delayed. I can't reduce the delay unless I get a new computer, which is possible, but that's a long way off. Or I get my phone fixed and get that connection back, but I don't really do so much. Or if I just reduce the stream quality. So that's, I don't know, man. Like, I agree with you, but like, should we drop HD? Should we go back to 480p? I don't know if I want to. Premieres would still be in 720p because they're pre-recorded, but I don't know. Is this the optimal setup or not? I see the hydration in chat. Well, I think it's time to finish with my view on things, guys. This is my honest view, alright? I'm gonna use this as a reference. Do I support the death penalty? Yes. I believe we should reinstate the death penalty. I believe the incarcerated are wasting tax money. There are some people who are truly irredeemable in this world. People that are vile and evil and should just be killed for the sake of convenience. I don't care about making them suffer. You know, I think that's just a bit too far. But I think this law, the usage of this law has to be regulated very, very carefully. The vast majority of criminals are misguided people who could easily be reintegrated into society with the right education and care from the government, okay? And life in prison is often a sufficient punishment before rehabilitation. Execution's rough, it's risky. Okay, that there should be a very thorough procedure before people are being executed, because otherwise innocent people could be killed. And, you know, it's very important that no one gets executed if they could be successfully rehabilitated, because investing in criminals to get returns as future taxpayers is a pretty solid, stonks thing to do, alright? If you have the proper things set up, it's a big investment, it's an expensive investment, but it could definitely pay off in the long run. The incarcerated are wasting tax money, though. And I think part of the solution is the death penalty. Kill off a few hundred, maybe, of the worst who've been in solitary confinement and been, you know, expensive to manage for decades, who have just contributed nothing and have no hope of being redeemed. But for the other majority, the vast majority, I think the more important thing is that we tax the rich properly, we invest in all kinds of infrastructure to rejuvenate the UK's economy and make this country great again, as if it had ever been great before. And put emphasis on rehabilitation for the 95% or more of criminals, okay? Death penalty should be brought back. Honest opinion, should bring it back, but only with that very careful regulation and not as it used to be. That's my honest opinion. You're welcome to argue that, but that I am going to stick by that, okay? And I'm not sure where on the chart that lands me. I think, considering I agreed with chaotic good and lawful neutral, neutral evil, and neutral good, I'm probably true neutral. But in an informed true neutral, not a, I don't know true neutral, this and this and this and this balances it out kind of true neutral. Do you agree? Do you disagree? The choice is yours to decide, as it always is with Debate Direct. And it's a shame I wasn't able to collaborate with anyone and have people in voice chat for this stream, but I think there was still some pretty interesting responses in chat. And I definitely think this is one of the streams that's going to go down in history as one of the most spicy Debate Directs. So, I tell you what, guys, if you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and share this with your friends if you have enjoyed. Also, be sure to check out all the links, excuse me, in the description. Should we use the death penalty? I'm going to give today's QOT the answer to RGN Trom, because he weighed up the balance, the delicate balance of pros and cons, and he didn't really come to a conclusion, but no one else really had a go. Also, for some reason, I can't seem to here we go. I can access his channel here. Guys, this is RGN Trom's YouTube channel. I haven't watched much of his videos, but he needs more subscribers. I'm going to subscribe to him. Give him those subs. Give him some views. He's made a Minecraft Java server. He did a good Sunday stream, apparently. He did some random streams. He's doing some FNAF stuff. He makes games, guys, so definitely go check him out. The link will be in the description, as well as today's charity shout-out. And I elaborated on this in the previous stream, but get out of here. QOT winner, RGN Trom. Today's charity shout-out goes to, ironically, Amnesty, who are completely against the death penalty without exception, and they won't listen to any other arguments. Today goes to charity water. Hydration's important, guys. Why should you donate to this cause? Because there are 785 million people in the world without clean water. They don't have basic access to clean water. That's like 1 in 10 of all humans. That's 10 times the population of the UK. And, you know, if we work hard to create sustainable, basic, clean water sources for these people by donating to charities and causes like this and supporting them in any way we can, this could mean total economic improvement and health for them. It could mean reduction in, obviously, infant mortality, education, income, and health, especially for women and children. Sanitation, guys. Empowering, you know, social justice as well as economic strength. So the link's in the description. Absolutely go check out Charity Water. Brilliant charity. There are also the numerous sources that I use, starting with the Reddit meme alignment chart, and obviously all of these articles from, you know, Amnesty International and Channel 4 News and The Guardian, as well as Private Eye, I suppose. Oh, I put them down here. I was wondering why they weren't there. Well, that's dumb. Yeah, sorry, the sources are more important. They're supposed to be at the top. Yeah, sorry, let me just fix that. But my social media pages are also there. Do feel free to subscribe. It means a lot. Being an active subscriber and liking the video and all that stuff means much more as well. We've hit 5 likes, which isn't many, but it's okay. And yeah, I think that's a solid end to a solid stream. So, yeah. 450 subscribers, guys. Sometime soon I'm going to do a vlog stream. I'm going to try out streaming in 480p instead, reducing the quality to see if I can improve the latency. And I'm also going to talk about what we should do for the 500 subscriber special and episode 50 of Debate Direct. So that's all. If you want to see me do, like, abortion as a topic, maybe we could, but I think that's a pretty, like... It's so, like, how can you argue pro-life? It's not much. It's weak sauce. But I think this one was very interesting and very varied. So, yeah. That's everything. Links in the description. Support me. Means a lot. I'm going to check chat one last time. I feel you, Matt. In OBS. Yeah, I'll change it in OBS. It's the 5G. Just blame the... yeah, guys, just blame the 5G. It's giving us cancer. Keep HD. You think I should keep HD? If you think it's worth it? Lol, sad. Matt, how could you? Oh, yeah, I removed the perms. The perms were never supposed to be there, guys. That was a mistake. You were never supposed to be able to just hop in. That was my mistake, okay? I trust you, but I don't trust you that much. I don't want people hopping in and out of my stream. But yeah, I'm going to remove Jelly from the thumbnail because she didn't even turn up. I don't know what that was all about because she checked the time. She was like, yeah, that's great. And then she just didn't turn it up. There's a delay setting. Oh. Ooh, there's a delay setting in OBS. I'll check that after the stream, and I'll reply to you in events chat. Seal, I see that. Thank you. Okay. I don't know where Lucy went, but that's all, guys. So leave a like, subscribe, do all the stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna go now. My hydration's out. I'll see you tomorrow for Baldi's Basics Plus. We're gonna be coming back to that game. Stay hydrated.